Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Goodie Nation podcast. I'm here today with someone who's probably familiar to a lot of you. He has certainly had a mark on the Atlanta innovation economy. And he's someone that I know I mentioned last episode. My favorite guests are guests that, like, people in the Goodie Nation sphere are like, oh, you should talk to this person. You should talk to this person. And when I mentioned, like, oh, I'm going to be talking to Zach, everyone in the office was like, oh, yeah, because he's done this and he's done that. And yes, that's a great guess. And so I'm really excited to learn about you and the things that you've done. And so I guess just to kick us off, who are you? What is your origin story, Zach?
Excellent question, Casey. Well, nice to meet you and the rest of the crowd here. My name is Zach Farley, software engineer. At this point, 12 plus years of experience. I run a nonprofit called Kitt Labs. We're essentially a workforce development agency looking to train next generation software engineers. That's the short and skinny of it. As far as my origin story, to your question, I hail from born and raised in Georgia, grew up in Powder Springs area, went to school at Kennesaw State University. Um, it's interesting. I really didn't find myself in tech through the traditional means. I actually graduated with a chemistry degree and had to self teach myself in order to make my way into tech, I would say. But I've been loving it since then. And it's been something that has been just, I'm very happy that I got into it.
So I would love to know, like, what sparked your interest in tech? You said that you're a self-taught person in the tech world, but like, what was the thing that made you go like, oh, I think I want to do this now?
Excellent question. It's interesting. So growing up, there was always computers around in my house. My dad worked in IT. We always had laptops, desktops, USB drives. I just had a knack for messing with computers as a kid. The thing that kind of triggered for why I moved in more into it is going up, moving in, working at Kennesaw State. We had an IT program, and I actually had a job at the help desk for that program. And funny enough, that job had me helping students who had IS degrees publish websites. And at the time, it wasn't anything fancy. It was just, hey, you're taking an HTML, a CSS file, a JavaScript file, and you're helping them upload it. And it was just a very small, very simple portfolio website. That's kind of got me into more web development, which really sparked the interest to just learn more about the coding process itself too.
Well, to me, everything you just said sounds really hard. And so I would love to know, as you continue to get into the tech world and eventually, became a developer, who were some of the like instrumental people? Whether it was, you mentioned like your dad had computers around. Was it, family? Was it people at the university? Was it like just people who were like, oh, you might really be into this? Like, can you think of some of the key relationships that really started to help you further develop down this path?
Mm, yeah, it's interesting. A lot of my direction has been, I don't want to say thrusted on me, but kind of has been kind of thrusted on me. Um, I was one of those kids where growing up, people were always telling me, "Hey, Zach, you're always you're gonna be successful, or you're gonna have people working for you." And I didn't really know what that meant, but when I acquired the skills of coding and I built my first little mini application, it was a very simple bookmarking tool that functioned as a desktop app, and I built it using Python. I just wanted to show my friends something cool, and they were like, "Yo, this is amazing! You built this, and you could charge people for it." I was like, "What? Really? Do people want to actually use this?" Again, a small little bookmarking tool where I could just basically add websites, pictures, images on a X outside of your browser. Um, and I'm sure they were just saying that to kind of gas me up, but that really pointed me down, looking more into not even just building for the sake of building, but building for the sake of entrepreneurship. And what is it like to actually build a product for end users, and get those products like actually out and impacting the world. Um, as far as like, so definitely I would say, um, for that answer, the people around me had a good amount of influence. My colleagues, my peers, whether it be supporting what I built or even just telling me, "Hey, you're going to be good," like you just look and you tell you're going to be successful. If I were to give a person, it would definitely be a mentor. Unfortunately, he has passed, but he gave me tremendous impact, by actually giving me my first like contracting opportunity. When you create a business, you create an LLC, and you get going, it doesn't really become real until you start earning from it. And he gave me that first big deal, and it was very impactful, and that really just pushed me more into technology.
So that's so nice. It's like the little things of just having friends like amp you up and say like,
Yeah,
yeah, this is good. You should keep doing it. And having, someone give you that first shot
you got to have a
to
hype squad.
mm,
You got to have a hype squad.
I love that. Yes, the tech hype squad. And so, so you've been a seasoned tech entrepreneur for a while now. I would actually love it if you could tell us more about Kitt Labs and some of the things that you all are doing.
Yeah, definitely. So a lot of what we do, Kitt Labs nonprofit again. Um, when I say workforce development, it's really putting on events for the general population. From what we see in Atlanta, at least what I see in Atlanta, there's a lot of different groups. There's a lot of different support groups. So if you're looking to learn something, you can always find a event to go to. But for me, the events weren't really solving what I wanted, what I needed. So like any other entrepreneur, I was like, okay, let me just create what I want. And what I wanted was creating a unique space where engineers can not only come and learn together, but also like actually go through development process together. I have this crazy program that we're looking at creating, where we're putting together hackathon squads, and essentially we take a team of people, we put them together, we take them to various different hackathons, and not only are they going through and building out various different products, they're learning, they're creating a portfolio, and they're doing stuff that makes them a more higher ready engineer, while also improving their implementation skills, which is what every engineer needs to do as well. So that's a lot of what we do. And outside of that, we do community events. So we've done workshops. Of course, we've done the technical talks, but I would say our meat and butter is that hackathon program.
Nice. So I would love to dive in more on the community event side, especially given this particular year for tech, for just all the things in general. It seems like building community and finding intentional partnerships, even if it's not in a formal sense, is just going to be pretty crucial. And so I would love your thoughts on the role of being a community builder right now, the role of how folks can better get plugged into the innovation economy if that is what they're interested in. Because I know, like you're based out of the Atlanta Tech Village, correct?
We actually move. We move around a lot.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, even that insight is helpful. Moving around, you have kind of a sense of the different like hubs and communities. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, why is finding your community so important?
It's important because a good thing I like to say is iron sharpens iron. It's very hard to grow if you don't have people that's kind of growing along with you as well. That's why schools are good. You're able to learn with other classmates, you're able to compete, you're able to grow. If you don't have other people within your same skill set, it's just going to be very hard to advance to the next level. Um, what I typically see, um, what I typically see when going to these various different communities is people do want to seek out others with their skills. They just don't know how to. They don't know how to kind of lock in and actually find someone that suits them, that suits their personality as well. You kind of want to be a beacon to draw others towards you. At least that's the approach that I like to take. No matter what location I'm at, I want to be able to draw in people who are builders, people who are innovators, and nerds as well. So I try to make it a point to always just flash certain signs, certain signals, certain flags, whether it be green or red, whatever you're going to see. You tend to want to talk to people that are similar to you. So I try to be as open and honest about who I am. That way, the people that ultimately come to me are people that I like. And so far, that's worked. It's drawn in other engineers, people that I can learn from. And more importantly, it's a tribe where we can all learn and grow together as we're advancing in either our careers, businesses, or just the industry in general. Because more than likely, we're all going to be in the same industry for more than 20 plus years. So it'll get kind of lonely if you're not intentionally forming connections outside of just your job. It's fine to make friends with the job, but also be able to go out on your own and be able to attract the people that you need in your life. That way, at this point, it's a matter of survival, I would say, from a more pessimistic viewpoint.
Well, I don't necessarily even think it's a pessimistic viewpoint. It's a realistic viewpoint. We are going to be leaning on each other more and more as the variables shift in the manner that they gon' shift. And I love the flashing of the Zach signal. That was a very very visual
green and red flags, basically.
Yes, yes, we love that. We love that. So this next question, it might be you might be a little biased coming from you, seeing as how you were born and raised in Georgia. But I would love to know, in your opinion, what makes the Metro Atlanta innovation economy special? We hear, different comparisons to other regions, of course, Silicon Valley and New York and Miami and Chicago. But like for you, what makes Atlanta special?
Good question. Besides me living here, because that's always, you always want to fight for where you're at, of course. Besides me living here, Atlanta definitely being a melting pot, very beneficial, I would say. Since again, I like to be honest about the type of person that I am. A lot of the activities, a lot of the events that's going on, whether it be the organizations, the companies, conventions, tech conferences, the unique blend that Atlanta has produced this environment where I think more and large Georgia is being known for like its food production, its manufacturing on the job side, on the venture and venture capital side. It is essentially the next Silicon Valley South. And I think from that standpoint, Atlanta does give you a lot of unique ingredients in order to produce different environments as well. And those environments will be great for engineers. Those environments are great for marketers, salespeople. There's a lot of different groups here. And when I go to other spots, other places, whether it be South Carolina, North Carolina, Houston, New York, they're very, and granted, I haven't lived in those places. I haven't stayed in those places long. I've only been there for periods of time for other conferences. And it doesn't feel as welcoming. Again, that is my outside opinion kind of going in. But it doesn't feel as open and welcome when it comes to partnerships, collaborations. You can find a partnership very easily in Atlanta. You can find people to work with as well. It may take a while to kind of, again, find your tribe, but once you find them, people are very open to working together with you in Atlanta versus in these other states. I haven't seen that as much, I would say, or it was a struggle to try to find those partnerships too.
Yes, we hear that a lot, that collaboration is our city's innovation economy strength? Yeah, maybe it's a little bit of that Southern hospitality. I don't know what it is.
You know what? It's that and the wings as well.
Great segue,
Mhm.
beautiful segue, because I was gonna ask, beyond the the worky sphere of like the events and the networking, what's your favorite thing to do when you're not thinking about computer stuff?
When I'm not thinking about computer stuff, at this point right now, it's trying to train myself for a savage race. I would say I've been recently getting into athletic competitions. I've been doing a lot of 5Ks, 5Ks, 10Ks. Last year did a Tough Mudder. This year the challenge is going to be Savage Race. So I'm looking at videos of people kind of competing. Um, I'm looking at training programs. I like to stay busy and active, I would say. That's on the more physical side. On the weekend where I'm being lazy, I'm playing video games. So very in order to for me in order to operate, I can't spread myself too thin. So it's like if it's not work, if it's not code, and if it's not community building, it's exercise and something to de-stress. Video games as well.
That's cool. That also sounds hard. Running and jumping over things.
Yeah, but
That
it's a fun challenge though.
I get that vibe from a lot of like developers. Y'all like challenges. Y'all like to overcome things.
I tell you what, one thing that I've learned talking to engineers, the only thing that will make an engineer really leave a job is if they're bored or if they have a bad engineering experience.
Mm.
More often than not, they're leaving because they're bored. They're either too smart and doing the same thing over and over, or the feature sets aren't really and it's not intellectually challenging, you know. So I think every engineer has something that they like to kind of lock in and kind of just dig into. But if you don't get that, then you don't get that.
Well, it's cool that you kind of know the inner workings of the mind of engineers, because you have like some stuff coming up with Kitt Labs that,
Mhm.
some events coming up. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we can look forward to in the near future?
Yes, definitely. We have a fantastic event coming up. It is going to be June 8th. It's going to be that Sunday during Atlanta Tech Week. Do please come out. It is going to be an iteration that we're calling the Career Combine. The challenge we're hoping to help people overcome is people are tired of putting in applications online and everything. So we want to create a more active environment where you could compete, you could wager your resume, wager the skills on your resume, and even do game show type events to show off your skills. Again, all in an effort to get a job, but it's going to be the career combine is going to be taking place June 8th, Atlanta Tech Week. So the best way to keep up with that is follow me on LinkedIn because we are still heavy in the planning phases and we don't have the registration link live. But if you do follow me, then you'll be able to find out first.
Nice. Well, there you go. Community building, overcoming challenges with the strength of togetherness.
Mhm.
That's my summary of all the things you
Togetherness,
just said.
friendship, struggle,
Yes,
whatever binds you together, even toxicity.
exactly. Oh, well, okay. Well, I didn't get that. I didn't get that part. That'll have to be the part two of the.
Well, in order to go through the trenches, there's got to be something to trench for.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. I think that's the final sprinkle on the
And that's where
conversation.
true team bonds come in place by going through the trenches. So it's almost like you kind of got to have a toxic environment in order to really form those close team bonds. But that's just that's for a more controversial take, I would say.
I again, the way you further contextualize it
Mhm.
and framing it within the context again of whatever the heck is happening in our world in 2025, I think you have a very valid point. And I think with community builders like you, we are going to overcome the challenges.
I'll try one step at a time.
Love it. Love it. Well, Zach, thank you so much for coming to chat with us today. Everybody, go check out the event, Atlanta Tech Week, coming up. And we are going to be tapping in with you on another episode coming up very soon.
That's awesome.
Bye.
Bye.